We all think we understand teamwork. People work together, right? Share ideas, coordinate, get results. But real collaboration is far more complex than just showing up and cooperating. Groups are not just collections of individuals. They are dynamic systems with invisible rules, subtle hierarchies, and psychological currents. The way people actually work together is dictated by trust, influence, roles, motivation, and communication patterns, not just directives or schedules. Understanding how groups function gives you a superpower. You can lead, collaborate, or influence teams far more effectively. Today, we'll break down the science and art of how groups actually work, why some teams thrive while others fail, and what the invisible forces at play can teach you about collaboration, leadership, and human behavior. When individuals come together, the expectation is that effort multiplies, but in reality, a group is a system with its own behavior. It's not just one person plus another, it's an interaction network. Each member brings personality, skills, habits, and motivations. These interact in ways that produce synergy or friction. A brilliant individual in isolation may contribute less in a dysfunctional team than a moderately skilled person in a cohesive one. This is why understanding group dynamics is essential. Teams succeed not because of raw talent alone, but because their interactions are structured, aligned, and adaptive. When a group functions well, it creates emergent intelligence, outcomes that no single person could achieve alone. Every group has roles, some assigned, some informal. Beyond titles, there are influence patterns, social hierarchies, and unspoken authority. Some people emerge as decision makers, others as mediators, innovators, or skeptics. These roles aren't fixed. They shift depending on the situation, the task, and the personalities involved. A quiet team member might become critical in high-pressure problem-solving, while a vocal leader might dominate discussions in less structured settings. Recognizing these roles allows leaders to harness strengths, manage conflict, and balance participation. Ignoring them leads to power struggles, disengagement, and underutilization of talent. Teams aren't just about equality, they're about complementary roles and distributed influence. Trust is the currency of collaboration. Without it, groups stagnate. Ideas are withheld, risks are avoided, and conflict festers. Trust has layers: competence, reliability, and benevolence. People must believe that others can do their jobs, will follow through, and have the team's best interests at heart. Building trust is not a one-time event. It requires consistent behavior, transparency, and accountability. Groups that operate with high trust communicate more effectively, resolve disagreements faster, and achieve higher performance. Conversely, even highly skilled teams falter if trust is missing. It's not just what you say, it's how, when, and to whom you say it. Communication patterns shape collaboration far more than formal processes. Some teams have open, decentralized communication where everyone shares ideas freely. Others are hierarchical, with information flowing top-down. Both can succeed, but the structure must fit the task. Effective communication balances clarity, feedback, and psychological safety. People need to feel heard, understood, and safe to contribute ideas, even imperfect or risky ones. When communication falters, misunderstandings, hidden agendas, and inefficiency take over. Understanding how your team communicates is more valuable than simply assigning tasks. Groups that never argue are not healthy. They are compliant or disengaged. Conflict is the natural result of differing perspectives, priorities, and personalities. The key is managing conflict productively. Constructive conflict forces the group to explore alternatives, question assumptions, and improve solutions. It's a tool for innovation, not a threat. Leaders and team members must develop emotional intelligence, managing tension, listening actively, and separating ideas from ego. Groups that embrace conflict thoughtfully become smarter, faster, and more resilient. Avoiding it leads to stagnation and unspoken resentment. Even high-trust, well-communicating groups fail without alignment. Shared goals provide direction, cohesion, and motivation. When everyone understands the vision and their contribution to it, effort synchronizes. Misalignment, on the other hand, creates inefficiency, duplicated work, and frustration. The strongest groups articulate goals clearly, ensure every member internalizes them, and create measurable benchmarks. Shared purpose transforms a collection of individuals into a high-performing team. Humans are wired to sometimes do less in groups than alone. This phenomenon, called social loafing, occurs when responsibility feels diffused. Groups must create accountability systems. Regular check-ins, clearly defined responsibilities, and recognition of individual contributions reduce loafing. Understanding this dynamic is crucial. Even in motivated teams, invisible tendencies can reduce output. Leadership isn't just about inspiring effort, it's about structuring it so energy is channeled efficiently. Every group develops norms, expected behaviors, decision-making styles, and ways of interacting. Norms shape what's acceptable, what's rewarded, and what's ignored. Culture is the cumulative effect of these norms. Strong cultures foster collaboration, innovation, and accountability. Toxic cultures breed fear, silos, and disengagement. Influencing norms and nurturing a positive culture is often more effective than individual directives. Groups follow unwritten rules, and shaping those rules determines long-term success. Homogeneous groups are predictable but often stagnant. Diverse groups with different backgrounds, experiences, and thinking styles tackle problems more creatively. Diversity introduces tension which, if managed well, generates insight and innovation. Inclusion is key. It's not enough to have different perspectives. Everyone must feel empowered to contribute. Groups that combine diversity with trust, clear roles, and shared goals consistently outperform uniform teams. When trust, communication, alignment, and diversity converge, groups produce emergent intelligence. The team becomes more than the sum of its members. Emergent intelligence isn't accidental. It arises from intentional structures, psychological safety, and shared purpose. Teams that understand how people naturally interact can harness this magic, creating solutions no individual could achieve alone. Mastering group dynamics doesn't just make you a better leader, it makes you a multiplier of collective human potential. Groups are alive in their own way. They have energy, tendencies, and patterns. Leaders and members who understand these forces can guide teams effectively, achieving more than any individual effort could. Collaboration isn't random. It's a science and an art. The better you understand how groups actually work, the more influence, results, and harmony you can create. Teams that thrive aren't lucky, they're intentional.